And for more on this story, or this crisis in Afghanistan, we're joined by Kabir Taneja. He's a fellow for the Observer Research Foundation, which is a think tank in India. Thanks so much for joining us. I'd like to start with how the international community is responding. As the New York Times pointed out, Pakistan, China, and Russia are gaining more influence on security matters at the expense of the U.S. and India. How do you see this playing out?
I think that's true till a certain extent. Of course, the Russian manner in which the U.S. withdrawal has taken place has actually put a lot of countries on the back foot. That includes, of course, U.S. allies in NATO and countries like India as well that have been working in Afghanistan for the past many years to build ecosystem and infrastructure for the Afghan people. India spent over $3 billion building dams, building roads, building schools and hospitals in the country. And India's commitment, while it's still there for the Afghan people, it's almost impossible at the moment to work under a Taliban regime because it's largely controlled and influenced by Pakistan. And the India-Pakistan dynamic is, of course, something that is very well known around the world that effectively, for the moment at least, pushes India on the peripheries.
So the Taliban is waging a propaganda campaign to show it's in control of the country. What is the reality, and do you think the Taliban are united in what they're doing?
Look, I think the propaganda is being done in a very slick manner, and unfortunately, a lot of people are buying into it. The Taliban is still the Taliban. Nothing has changed there. Ideologically, they have not changed anything. And, on the face of it, of course, they are at the moment saying all the correct things. But let's look a little bit deeper. They're only talking from Kabul now. We do not know what's happening in other cities such as Mazar-e-Sharif or Herat or Kandahar and so on and so forth. So I don't think there is much that the Taliban is going to offer in the future as far as change is concerned. Of course, they may find new allies in places such as China and Russia, who are very happy to see the U.S. influence leave from the region. But that does not mean that the Taliban will change for the Afghan people. It's still going to be the same organization and the same ideology.
You just mentioned we don't know what's happening in those other cities. Do you think the Taliban is united, as a group in what it's trying to do?
The Taliban was united as a group to see through that no foreign troops are remaining in Afghanistan. So they are united till that extent. But whether they're united or not on what kind of changes that the Taliban is propagating, and whether ideologically the Taliban is on the same page on allowing women to work or allowing musicians to play their art, allowing cinemas to open, I think that still has to play out. But there is a strong unison as far as making sure that there are no foreign interventions in the country.
The CIA director, William Burns, held a secret meeting in Kabul with the Taliban leader, Abdul Ghani Baradar. What do you make of that, and does it serve to legitimize the Taliban?
I don't think it's supposed to legitimize the Taliban. I think it's an effort to make sure that if there is an extension beyond the August 31st deadline from the U.S. part or from the NATO part, especially from U.S. allies part, that the Taliban is able to accommodate that extension. And the Taliban has still now said that they will not do that. Whether the meeting between Mullah Baradar and the CIA chief changes that, I think we'll have to wait and watch. But it is very iconic in a sense for the CIA director of an agency that trained the Mujahideen from where the Taliban as a group came in the 90s, as to sit across the table now to negotiate an exit for American influence and troops.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Kabir Taneja, fellow for the Observer Research Foundation, which is a think tank in India. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.